It's not even the end of January, and already Prince Andrew has been stripped of his military titles, seen his social media deleted,
This account doesn't exist.
and had family members refuse to acknowledge his woes.
He's called Prince Andrew. Sorry, I can't hear you.
And his year is unlikely to get better from here. Andrew's attorneys have filed an 11-page response to the lawsuit brought by Virginia Giuffre, which claims he sexually assaulted her 21 years ago.
Assuming without admitting that Giuffre has suffered any injury or damage alleged in the complaint, Giuffre's claims are barred by the doctrine of consent.
In addition to the interesting use of the word consent, the filing also raises the
Doctrine of unclean hands.
alleging that
Giuffre's alleged causes of action are barred in whole or in part by her own wrongful conduct.
but doesn't specify what that wrongful conduct was. The filing again cites Giuffre's Australian residency, as well as the 2009 settlement she made with Jeffrey Epstein, both of which were dismissed by the judge during an earlier request that the case be thrown out.
Everyone has always said that it will be astonishing if this gets to court, but we are inching ever closer to that day.
The Royal continues to deny all allegations made by Giuffre, his lawyers saying that if the lawsuit is not dismissed,
Prince Andrew hereby demands a trial by jury on all causes of action asserted in the complaint.
that bold statement dominated all the headlines today, except Giuffre had already requested the exact same thing.
So essentially, the prince is agreeing to her demand, which if he did not agree to it, she would get a jury trial anyway.
So will Prince Andrew be able to settle out of court, or will he face the jury he claims to want?
Lisa Bloom has represented a number of Jeffrey Epstein's accusers and joins us now. So we've just seen there that Prince Andrew is demanding a jury trial, even though Giuffre has already requested the same thing. Why is he doing this?
So you make a very important point, because here in the US, if one side requests a jury, it's going to happen. That's all we need. And Virginia has already done that. So I think on his part, it's just a PR move. Surely he does not want a jury trial, but that's what he's going to get.
Well, Prince Andrew has used the word consent as part of his defence. Is it possible that he's going to try and argue the case that he never had sex with her, but if he did, that it was all consensual?
Yes, and this is what has really jumped out at me today, because how inconsistent to say, I never had sex with her, but if I did, it was consensual. I mean, he has to pick one. His lawyers can make these inconsistent arguments, but at some point, he's going to have to take a position. And I think he's going to be grilled at his deposition and at trial about this allegation that it was consensual. She was 17 years old, which is under the age of consent here in the US.
The defence document mentions Giuffre's so-called wrongful conduct. What is that likely to be referring to?
Yes. So first of all, we know that this means that Prince Andrew's team is going to go after her. They're going to attack her. They're going to dig up dirt on her. They're going to make this trial about her. And their position is that she's made inconsistent statements, that she's accused other people. She's admitted that she's made mistakes about dates, but she says the essence of her claim has never changed, and she stands firm that she was sexually abused by Prince Andrew.
A woman named Shukri Walker says she saw Andrew and Giuffre at a London disco the night he says he was getting pizza with his daughter. She says she's willing to testify. You're her lawyer. What effect could that testimony have on the case?
Yes, I've been very proud to represent Shukri, who came forward to say, I saw the two of them there that night. You know, it was the only time I've ever been in the presence of a royal, Prince Andrew. I remember it clearly. She's willing to be a witness in the case. And I think she's an important witness to say what she saw. And Shukri and I both encourage anyone else who might have been a witness to step forward. It's the only way we're going to get justice.
That Pizza Express joint in Woking plays a significant role in the defence that Andrew put forward in that infamous BBC interview. So does that mean that Andrew's daughter could be called to testify about that night at the pizza joint?
Absolutely. She's what we call a percipient witness. She was there. Does she remember being with her father that night? Also, what about the security guards, the people who keep his calendar and his journals and his diaries, who track his movements? This should not be difficult to show whether he was there that night. But even if he was, most people don't go out for pizza with their kids at the same time that they go to a nightclub. They go to a nightclub much later in the night. So he could have done both.
Lisa, your insights have been absolutely fascinating. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So the estimates are that if this trial does go ahead, and there's still quite a few steps between now and that outcome, it'll be around about September. Can you imagine the media circus?
Huge.